The All Smiling Faces podcast is now sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Always Smiling Faces podcast on the GallowgateShots YouTube channel. You have another full house after another Newcastle United win. For those that are watching on YouTube, Decker is okay. He's not rocked up in any Adidas gear tonight. Just before people start sending messages, Decker's fine. So that's 2 weeks, Decker. So proud of you. Last week you went and didn't buy anything from the club.
Yeah.
Did you go back?
I did go back.
You did,
I sent you a photo, yeah. I tried it on again and I just thought that Adidas logo was too big.
It's massive, like it is huge.
It was about that size, wasn't it?
Today he's wearing Castor, so
I went digging. I was going to wear that, the drill top, the new one with the old badge on, the newest one.
That one,
And then I just happened to come across this and I was like, actually, I really, really love the material, the fit.
Yeah.
I love this one and I thought, oh, why not? I mean, it did feel a bit weird putting it on because it's Castor, and but I thought, it's all right.
I thought it was because it was inspired by David Beckham's back tattoo in Newcastle.
And also Adam's neck tattoo.
It's nice. Honestly, this is one of my favourite.
Tony Timebridge is coming in straight in saying, is Decker going cold turkey in time for Christmas? But we'll stick with you, Decker.
Okay, then, mate.
It's another podcast. Was this a third week on the bounce?
Yeah.
You get to say the magic words.
Well, wouldn't you know?
Get in. It's
just
by the skin of our teeth. I'll tell you that.
I knew Mark would be on that.
I'm not having
skin
that.
of our
Honestly, I got
teeth.
that good. What I will say, what I will, I'll just fast forward to the end.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are like, hey, they had a real chance at the end when he hid it away, blah, 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 blah. I mean, if Ramsey wasn't an absolute idiot, like, we didn't play well, by the way, I'm going to say, but we weren't hanging on, like, or anything like that, I didn't feel, other than 45 seconds to 50 seconds at the end. I thought we were okay, we were all right. But
we never got our second gear, really, did we?
Which
need to.
I want to come on to, because it frustrated us and it annoys us. But, listen, the thing is, though, is the Tottenham game is still fresh in people's minds. It was in mine as well. We shot ourselves in the foot there, and it looked like we were going to shoot ourselves in the foot again.
Fresh in the players' minds as well, I think, going by how the last injury time went, basically.
I can understand why people...
It was mad that it was 3 minutes injury time that was given, but that chance was on like 98 minutes. So it was like Liverpool away all over again. A strange one, that.
What you just thought was going to be Newcastle United last minute conceding a goal, didn't you? What would have been what?
Well, it was.
The 6th or 7th time? Well, stoppage time. The 6th or 7th time this season that would have made it. If it had have happened more, but it didn't. But I want to go right back to the start of it. Eddie made some bold changes in there and shocked a lot of people, but especially the midfield position with Willock and Ramsey coming in.
Yeah, it was a lot of changes, wasn't it? And I do often worry that when you do make those wholesale changes, that it will affect the balance of the team and the performance. We've seen it a lot of times over the years in like cup games and stuff like that, where we've rested or changed a lot of the team. But you'd expect, when you look at the quality of player that's going to come in, that it shouldn't affect it to the same sort of volume that it has in the past, because it was still a good, strong team that were named, but probably a few more than I was expecting.
And just a handful of days after you made the statement of you don't want to see Dan Burn at left back again. Dan Burn was back at left back.
I think he did it on purpose, didn't he?
It was a whole illness. That's why he was back in there.
Yeah, which is a worry given the 2 games we've got this week.
He was poorly, was he? Hard to know
That's fine.
I don't mind that.
I'll take him having the flu any day than having a thigh strain or a groin injury. I think as well, even if he was fit, he only just came back from injury. You can't just keep trotting him out every week, like
like we're having to do with Tino at the minute, because obviously we've got
Tino
and Trippier out.
He struggled actually Saturday, Tino, a little bit. I thought it didn't quite look.
Yeah, so where we sit, me, Mark, and obviously you a little bit further away, Bestie. It was obvious Tino struggled in that first 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
just passing balls like left, right to nobody though.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it reminded us of a little bit early on, and I know it was a different team. Like we put a different team out pretty much, but Bilbao in the Champions League a bit, where they were pressing really high up early on, and we just couldn't. We didn't seem to be able to work out how to.
Shocked with, didn't they, Burnley?
Yeah, they were on the front foot right from the
A
start.
lot of pace as well.
Yeah, big boys as well. A lot of lovely big boys there. Like so, I was and Tino. I don't know if it's a little bit because Langa was ahead of him. Langa I thought played okay on Saturday, as it turns out. Like, but I don't know if it's just because it's a new system. He's got Langa ahead of him who he's not used to playing with because normally Murphy. Inside there, it was on the right was Ramsey in centre midfield, and he's not used to playing with Ramsey so much. Even down to Fabian Schär was on the right centre half, and normally it would be Chow. So all those little things, although you've been playing with Schär for a long time, like. But yeah, Tino just seemed a little bit off the boil, particularly in that first 25 minutes, half an hour or so.
I did think Burnley started really well.
Yeah, they really went. Really had to set about
some corners early on. I thought Voltameda did brilliantly on some of them corners, heading them away and stuff. But we're under it a little bit. Obviously, weather did, but I was like, that. Sometimes you think they might just come in, or be resolute and be hard to beat immediately. But they actually tried the opposite and to really go out with
it. That was what happened after the red card, wasn't it? They brought the centre half on at half time and just it was like a flat five at the back for the.
It was one of those games, though, Mark, where we've been asking for rotation in crucial moments of the season. That was one of them. It was a bit of a risk, especially not obviously starting the likes of two of those midfield three that we used to. But it's a risk that paid off because that's what we needed. We needed 3 points at the end of the day, and it was a very good game to choose to make.
Yeah, I mean that the important thing is coming away with 3 points at the end of it. Of course, you want to, if possible, score 6-7 goals and have a fantastic performance. But even when you do that, you still only get 3 points. So it's not the be all and end all. I would have liked to have seen more of a performance for those that have came into the team because it's a big opportunity for them to grasp a position
Ramsey's
in the starting 11.
Start since being injured at
Leeds.
Yeah.
Well, Ramsey, Willock coming into midfield, both got a lot to prove. Obviously, the wide men have been chopping and changing with Gordon and Harvey Barnes for most of the season. Same on the right with Alanga and Murphy. Back four's been a little bit more settled because of injuries and lack of availability. So I just thought kind of going into it that you expected them to really want to put down a marker and say, I've got a chance here. It's my shirt. I want to keep a hold of it, given the fact that we've got two very, very important games this week. But to your point, when you look at this week's fixtures, that's the one where you can kind of take that bit of a risk as such to rest players and make the changes, because you would still think, given the players that we've got enough to get a victory at home against Burnley. I'm sounding like Decker there, and it's only Burnley.
Well, they had lost five in the spin, right? So
Five.
You're absolutely right. If you can't start using your squad in that type of game at home, well, then when can you use your squad?
One of the benefits as well, Decker, obviously we've got a huge game coming up on Sunday as well, but we'll not focus too much on that one to start with. Another one on Wednesday. But the opportunity that we've got to rotate players, it kind of makes the opposition guess a lot more than what it has been like previously as to who's going to be starting what positions, especially if you're looking at the flanks. Is it Gordon, Barnes, or is it Alanga and Murphy?
Yeah, I agree. I think, on the left-hand side, I mean, I have to say Gordon looked back to what the Gordon we love. Right?
Yeah, I thought he was excellent, yeah.
So he's absolutely brilliant, and we will come on to the red card because I really want to talk
about it.
Just
stick with Gordon, though, Decker.
Yeah.
Like, because we mentioned before, if a player that Gordon comes up against that's got pace, he struggles. And that's exactly what he was up against.
Yeah,
but Kyle Walker pace 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think
he's still quick. I mean, there was one moment where he basically came from right wing, right back, came down the wing and across the midfield. I'm like, bloody hell, he's still rapid.
Yes, but he's not the Walker from the prime Man City.
Even 2-3 years ago, he's really.
I was actually quite surprised at how slow he was. He's still quicker than me. Like, didn't get us wrong, but but listen, I thought Gordon looked. He looked really sharp. He looked aggressive. He looked really trying to get at them. Not only coming inside all the time, which I get annoyed with. So he was also going on the outside as well. So he was starting to play a guessing game of which way am I going to go, which is great to see. And listen, I've also said a lot that when Hall's on, he looked better. Hall wasn't there on Saturday, and Gordon still looked fine, right? Looked great. I think to touch on, I want to touch on Ramsey for a second. I was disappointed in him, if I'm honest. Now, not to the levels I've seen other people be disappointed. I don't think he played terribly, but to Mark's point about like, wow, what a chance here! You're getting a full 90. This is a really good chance for you. I just feel like, yeah, okay, he is tidy on the ball, but he doesn't really do anything. You know what I mean? And he had a great chance, I thought, in the second half when. I think it might have been I could be wrong. Somebody played him the ball. Can't remember who it was. Sorry, he tried to open his body and go on the top. He had all the time in the world. You know, had a lot of time. Just blazed it over, and he knew it as well. He was.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. It was the one where he takes a touch, and it just goes straight to keeper.
Oh, that was in the first half. Yes, that was a really good chance as well. Yeah,
lashed it over.
He just lashed it over the bar. It was a great chance. On the right hand side, there's a total difference between what you're going to get between Murphy and Elanga. Right, Elanga had moments in that game where he looked like a £50 million player. We'll come on to the red card. That run he made for the pass from Gordon is one of the best passes you will ever see in football. Right? Yeah. But you cannot make I've said this for years. You can't make the pass if the player doesn't run. The run from Elanga is unreal to do that. So you see moments of him. He looks like a £50 million player. But my goodness me, there's other times where I'm lost for words. Honestly, I'm lost for words at times of how poor he looks. But still more positive. That was much more positive on Saturday from him than I've seen previously. So good.
And what I'd like to see as well, Bestie, is Elanga was unbelievably frustrated that he wasn't able to get his shot away.
Yeah.
That he was brought down, the player got sent off. He was livid. He was punching the deck and all sorts.
Yeah, he wants to score, doesn't he? He wants to. It's the same that when we look at Gordon, we've sat on here and said, oh, he hasn't scored for so long in the league. Was how many games it was. And even the two he scored, both in penalties, you could argue. But Elanga, I think him breaking that duck will have done wonders for his confidence where he was playing on Saturday. And Elanga will be the same. He's getting, it's the old thing I said the other week there about that chance at Villa. First chance of the season. If he puts that away, then we might see a more settled. He's done it, you know. But yeah, I'm glad to see that he wants to. He's obviously part of the club, part of the unit that they've got there. It's been good to see with Wissa how much the lads have taken to him. Like the thing with Emil Kraft after the game a couple of weeks ago, and
I seen his post-match Wissa's post-match little thing on UFC TV. God, he was absolutely buzzing. He couldn't stop saying how proud he was and how happy he was, and it was a dream come true, and like really seemed to care so much about making that.
It's lush seeing that. It feels genuine as well. Obviously, the way he left Brentford wasn't exactly lush, but it does feel genuine. But yeah, Elanga, I really want it to work for Elanga, and I think I agree with Decker with those times on Saturday where you think, he's starting to show it here. I don't think you're ever going to get out of him ever in 90 minutes where everything's like. Where everything that happens just comes off, because he's that kind of player. He's going to trip over the ball once or twice, and he's going to stand on it. And he's going to fall out. But every now and then, he's good enough. I'm going to bring him up for the first time tonight. Decker's mate. Was it? I'm not saying he's like for like, but he was like that way. He'd do 2 or 3 things a game. You think, Christ, he's excellent. And then other times you think, like, what's the full process behind that?
There's a funny one with Elanga, right? Because
obviously, St. Maximin was unbelievably skillful in that. Like,
I mean, Maxi could beat a man standing still and then go round someone. Elanga's really does just rely on pace, right? He just runs into people more than anything, if I'm honest. There was a bit in the second half, goodness me. He had his foot on the ball, and then he tried to put his foot on the ball again, it wasn't there, and he just went and he lost it. And I was thinking, my God, you're standing still here. You're standing still. And they're the moments where I scratch my head. But I was talking to Emma, you might be watching, like, but it wasn't a heated argument, but it wasn't an argument, sorry, but like Emma was heated about it. Kept saying like, we don't play to his strengths. He's a counter-attacking player, and we're trying to be a possession-based team and all this type of stuff. And I'm not disagreeing with a single point he made. But if that's the case, then what on earth we're signing for then? If everyone's telling me, we don't play to his strengths because we don't get the ball in behind, but he's created a counter-attacking team like he was at Forest. Well, we've signed the wrong player then, if that's what you think.
No, but in fairness,
the whole Isak situation.
Yeah, 100%. That's the reason we're signing him, wasn't it? Is based on where we were at that time. We wanted him to play in that way because we had Isak up front.
What do you mean? Say that again? What do you mean?
So we signed him based on the way that we played and the fact that we would have had Isak up front.
What, so we'll be playing counter-attacking?
So we'd be playing much more like we have over the last 2 years compared to how we're playing this season, which is slower, more possession, playing it into feet, not getting.
I think there's something in that. I mean, hopefully now Wissa's back and Wissa's more Isak's profile as a, sitting on the last man a bit more, making the runs. You might, if that's the case, then you'd say Elanga's kind of production.
The point I mean is that I don't think there's many teams we're going to come across that's going to be 2 banks of 5. Sorry, take that back. Sorry. the problem that we have is the teams that we do play against, I think, will defend more against us in certain games. And that's where, look at the second half when I know they got a man sent off. That's where he will struggle because he's not particularly great in their moments when we're trying to break a team down. Whereas, of course, if we're playing against a team that is on the front foot, happy days, right? Happy days, because then we'll get them on the counter and that's when he can come alive. Whereas I don't particularly feel that we are that type of team. I don't think Eddie Howe's ever tried to be that type of team, that we're going to be the ones that will sit back and try and get you on the break. Eddie Howe's not that type of manager.
I've done it a couple of times against like Arsenal and Man City and stuff like that. Like, but for the most part,
absolutely.
But I agree. I mean,
I think we're a team that we want to be the one. We want to be the team on the front.
I think we're a bit in between.
Yeah.
We're pretty direct at times. Like,
because I know, but if you look over the previous seasons, a lot. Well, our main strength was hitting that pace.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily a team that's constantly going to come back and go at you like somebody like Arsenal, Man City. But even any team that comes in, when they had an opportunity, we were so bloody fast at getting that ball back up the field.
Yeah, we were.
Maybe that's what the process was with Langer.
In games of football, you will have chances to break, no matter who you're playing against. But I also think there's a lot of times we've sat here and we can't break down a low block. Loads of times we've sat here and said that.
Last season.
And unfortunately, and no disrespect to Langer, but you've paid £50 million for a player that ain't going to be able to do that either. Now.
Well, that was when he came on against Wolves. West Ham the other week. He came on when we're 2-1 down and they were just sat. Well, what's Langer? He's not going to be able to contribute in that situation.
Now, he put some really good crosses in, I thought, the second half. And I mean, we paid £50 million.
A couple of great crosses.
Should be able to cross the ball. But they were good. They were really good crosses, though.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I definitely agree with him, I said, because I thought this as well. He needs minutes.
Yeah.
The only way he's going to improve is by getting minutes. And like he had a good game. What game was it? Was it maybe the Spurs? No, it wasn't the Spurs.
Before Spurs, I think the weekend was
Everton, maybe it was. I think I said that was his best 90 minutes Premier League. That was probably his best 90 minutes Premier League. Just gone. So you're starting to see signs of a player, which can only be positive.
Yeah. I think the more time he spends with the team as well, working for Howe. How many times, even in the last few weeks, people are talking about Langer saying like there's getting used to the system. And kind of the way that Howe wants Newcastle to play, be that possession, be it on the break, just little things that he does that he wouldn't have been done in Forest, where he was sitting back under Nuno with a big totem pole up front like Chris Wood. Like he hasn't got that now, so it's a different way of playing. But I'm still hopeful. Yeah. But then you saw in the wing as well. I thought Gordon was superb at times on Saturday.
He was dangerous on Saturday, like the old Gordon that we used to say, Mark, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was much better than he's probably been, even if you look into the back end of last season as well. He's been out of form for quite a while. So it was for the European game that we all know against Horton Welfare, right, wherever it was.
Gerald
Ruffin.
Headwell Hall, I think it wasn't started with.
Yeah. That pass for the red card was.
It's just such a good ball, and you don't think about passing when you think about Anthony Gordon, do you?
No.
You think of him being quick on the front foot. He can go either side of the defender. You just prefer to cut inside. I noticed something else people don't seem to think about with Gordon. Whenever the ball came out to Shea, people were shouting shoot. When it came out to Bruno, they were shouting shoot. When it came out to Gordon, it was silent. No one wants Gordon to shoot.
But he did hit the post. Those post wasn't that the post he hit?
Both.
Yeah,
the post the first half, the crossbar.
Yeah, he hit the crossbar.
Yeah, that was more traditional Gordon, wasn't it? The one, sort of
drag it and shoot
in that Barnes/Gordon area. You know what I mean?
Against Man City a couple of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was so impressed with Gordon, and for us to be the team we want to be and to be successful, he needs to be that. We need that player. We need that because he's so good.
You see, I had his tail up a bit. Now, I wonder if it is because he started to score goals a bit more. Or
is it because Barnes is on fire? Barnes has been playing really well and scoring goals. Is he thinking, shit, I have to fight for my place here? I'm not saying he was complacent. I'm not saying that necessarily, even though people have questioned he can only get up for big games. That's what everyone seems to label him with.
My thoughts was it was because he was up against Kyle Walker, because he's been on record saying Kyle Walker is the opposite. That he's the toughest opponent that he's came across. So I was looking at like he's having to raise his game because he knows he's in for a tough old afternoon here. So he's got to be at his best, and I wouldn't say it was his best, but it was certainly getting back towards that level, and he did raise his game.
I think it's probably a combination of everything that you just said there, and the fact that the rest of the team's playing better as well as what it was at the start of the season.
Well, the body of work of 10 points from 12, and you've shit yourself for 30 seconds. You should have 12 out of 12, really, right? And I'm going to mention one thing really quick here, right? And I was meant to say this later on. The team we're playing on Sunday apparently have had the greatest start of the greatest team of all time, right? Ever No team plays better than them. No team gets better results than them. 1 point behind them.
Yeah.
We've won the same amount of games. It's the best
Hey,
team of
Digger, mind the gap.
No, but what I'm saying is it does seem, though, if you talk to anyone, we actually have been really shit all season. And them have been unbelievable.
There's
And
no
I don't
expectations.
want to
It's
go down
perspective, though, because like
No, I
Liverpool
know.
have a nightmare season and they're ahead of it as well.
No, but I think Sunderland have done really well.
I
really do.
No two ways about it. They have, yeah.
But we actually are only a point behind them, which is remarkable.
Well,
really,
there's only
because it doesn't feel that way to me.
5 points between 4th and 14th.
Yeah,
or 5th
the
and
league's
14th. The
ridiculous.
league's really,
The league's
the
ridiculous.
middle's so bunched up.
But-
and I remember sitting here last year saying, when it comes out towards the end of the season, the shake up will be at the top end of that. And people saying, oh, well, Champions League's out of reach now. Is it?
I was at football tonight and people were moaning about us.
Yeah.
Our fans, by the way, complaining, blah, blah, blah. And
Shit podcast.
you'd be proud of us, Mark. You'd be proud because I know I'm quite negative sometimes, but I was like, lads, we've played 4 Premier League games, haven't lost any. And we've won 3 of them. Like,
Yeah.
it's really good. Like, it's actually good. And I know people will be annoyed at the Tottenham goal. I know people will be annoyed with the second half. I was. But if you just take a step back, it's really good. It's a really good
I
return.
sat here after the Man City game and said that I can see this being a nice little run for us now. Obviously, we take away that Marseille game, which once again was 30 seconds of being idiots. It's I'm going to say a nice run. It's a great run that we've been on, really.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from tiny little blips, like I mentioned, that Spurs game, the Marseille game.
Burnley almost as well. They're
But
expensive
at the end of
blips.
it, it's points on the board, and that's exactly what we needed.
And we're better off where we are at this stage of this season than we were
And
last
it was
season.
only 4 weeks ago, we sat here and we had a discussion.
You
saying
wanted
that-
them out?
What
Again?
We're saying like something like 6.
Well, not the we.
No, let's finish.
You.
We were saying we're 6 or 7 points away from where we were this time last season,
Mhm.
and that was only 4 weeks ago.
And I'm sure I said we're only a matter of points off where we were, and we can turn it round. And
Well,
look,
of course,
look
we
what's
can turn
happened.
it around. Like football changes, and we could be in this similar sort of position in X amount of weeks' time. We could drop back down. We just don't know how it's going to pan out.
Well, that's the positivity that we're looking for, isn't it?
And
Oh, we could climb.
I did want to say that you mentioned certain blips in games.
Yes.
Now, I will say them blips still worry me because they seem to be coming from the same source, the same issue.
It's game management. Yeah.
Well, a bit of
By
game
the
management,
players.
but I also think crosses, set pieces, corners, anything in the box is a worry. And when
Yeah,
we've got him in goal, and I'm sorry, he scares me to death. To death. You know that I was to tell you about the lad I used to sit next to.
Yeah.
But Tenga's great with his feet.
I feel like that about Ramsdale. Like
He's
I'm
brilliant
sorry.
with his feet, man. He can kick the ball.
Oh, hey, no, listen, he can though.
Did you
I
see
know
that
you're
pass
being
last week in the
sarcastic.
midfield?
I know
Can we,
it was
can we
good,
just
though.
say
It was
though?
good.
Can we just say at this moment in time, it's what 3 games for Ramsdale now?
3, yeah,
So
something like
that's
that.
3 games where he started.
Everton,
He
weekend, and
is
Tottenham.
Cup
yet
games.
to cost us a game, and the last goalkeeper had cost were a fair few points.
There's an argument that Ramsdale cost
Tottenham
with
goal.
Tottenham.
Tottenham, yeah. I'm a bit. on
I'm
the
not
fence
having
with
that.
I'll give him the benefit of the
I
doubt,
think
but
if Pope's in goal and does that punch and
saves
then
it.
dives a week late.
Pope saves that no
Your
problem.
2 defenders, I just watch it go past them. The slowest shot I've ever seen in my life, mate.
No, I'm with you, but I
The goalkeeper
don't.
should go past him as well.
I don't. If Pope was in goal, I don't believe people would have looked at that.
I don't
way.
like either.
I
To be
think
fair, so.
no.
It
Neither,
came from a bad punch as well.
neither. That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
If Pope does that punch and then dives a week late, Pope's getting it.
Yep.
Sorry, he's getting it. But I agree, neither of them are good enough. If we're
Yeah,
being, if we're
that's-
being
I
truthful.
think Pope's absolutely good enough. He's having a bad run. He's a superb goalkeeper. The
Do you think there's better out there?
I wouldn't say super.
there's better out. There's better than everyone out there.
But that's what I'm saying. I still think it's an area we could upgrade in.
We could
I think we
upgrade.
could get someone that is as good as Pope is what Pope does, and find someone that perhaps is a bit more.
We could upgrade, but I think Pope's excellent, but he has had a bad few weeks. I think it was right that he was dropped because of the mistakes he's made.
Whoa.
What do you
He
mean
wasn't
dropped,
dropped. He was injured.
Injured, big
And
part.
I
is
want to ask
injured.
you as well about the injury. Has anyone heard anything? Because I've tried to read.
Yeah,
some-
Howe mentioned on
3 weeks.
Friday. He said
3
it's
weeks,
3 or
wasn't
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's pretty.
Got Christmas off.
I was kind of hoping like he would be fit for the derby. Like,
But why?
mate. He's like Ramsdale looks like my Bane when he's in
I
goal
know,
on
but
corners.
I've like.
Have you seen the size
But
of him?
Nick Pope was exactly the same.
I
Like
seen-
3 games.
I
before he
seen
got
him
injured.
against Burnley, right? Come out for a
was
corner.
not.
Listen,
He
come out for
was
a
not.
corner, punch it, and he went in the top corner, hit the ball.
Hit the bar, dude. Yeah.
We can't, I'm sorry. He is not the. I'm
But I've
sorry,
also
like,
seen Nick Pope close out the fucking other goalkeeper's post than his.
I personally feel unbelievably more calm when Pope's in goal.
I just
And I
think-
know what you're saying
I
about
think we need
Marseille
him.
running out. I get it. People are going to be in the comments now going, "Did you watch Pope for the
no,
last
a
5
lot of
weeks?"
people normally do defend Nick Pope. like.
I honestly feel better when Pope's in goal.
I just
Maybe
think
it's his size
that's
of it.
one area. In January, we asked the question last week about an area that we need to improve. It's goalkeeper, 100%. Hands
For me,
down.
it is.
But is it like it's weird because you talk about Pope and you say he's a good stop line. People go, "Yeah, he's meant to do that. He's a goalkeeper," but he's
Exactly.
like, he's really good at it.
I'm not
I'd
actually.
rather have a keeper who saved the champ. I think Pope saves that second one against Tottenham.
Yeah.
I think he gets across his line quicker than Ramsey does. I'm not saying it was Ramsey's fault necessarily. I think a defender should deal with it, but Ramsey should be more. He's on his heels a bit.
I mean, you're not particularly balanced in the.
No, I am. I'm
far from it.
I honestly am. I wanted Ramsey to come in and just like ramming down the words down my throat. Like I want Ramsey.
Well, you said words there.
I know. That's why I revised. I really want Ramsdale to surprise us and like be number one for the next 10 years. But realistically, and he's just not as good a keeper as Nick Pope.
Nobody's stock. I don't think there's been a footballer in our club's history that has risen as much without playing a game than him.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
There will be like
Shelby was good for that. Like
Isaac Haynes and another Willock.
Whoa! I'm not having any
Hayden
Isaac
was
Haynes
shite.
I liked
slander on
Hayden,
this
really.
podcast.
No, but
I like him as well.
you know what I'm like with me sarcasm.
You know what Joe Willock's
I'm
like every time
sarcastic.
he's injured, people think he's the next fucking Messi, but he
No.
comes back on.
But there's a habit, right? When Shelby was out, I still thought Shelby was alright. But anyway,
Yes.
no, he was, but
when he's not on, people go, "Oh, miss him. He's a huge miss." Blah blah. And your stock gets larger, right?
Yeah.
But Ramsdale literally played a handful of minutes against Bradfords in the world
Because he
head
could
off
kick a
or
ball.
whatever.
Well, I
Because he
also,
could kick a
I
I
ball.
that's
also
what I'm
think this
agreeing
is
with.
how
He's
you I
not
think
good
of
at
Nick
it.
Pope right now, though.
No, but
No,
Mate,
man.
mate,
Nick, 3
mate,
games before he got injured.
Chris-
3 games
He
in
was
3
brilliant.
seasons.
Chris, that's an absolutely incredible take. That like,
Oh,
it is. That's wild stuff. That,
that's
man.
3 games. Like I think, right? I'm going to ask you a question, right? So before he got injured,
Mhm.
there was a big discussion about if it should be Ramsdale coming in.
Mhm.
Right, you would have probably sat there and said, "No, Nick Pope." But
No,
I think
I've
you
said-
actually said at that point it's probably his last chance,
I've-
to start that game.
I said about a minute ago,
But that's what I mean.
but that doesn't mean
No,
I think Ramsdale's
But
a
you
better
want,
keeper.
but you want him dropped 3 games ago.
No, I think he was out of form and he needed a break.
Break.
That's different. That's different.
Give him a break.
It's different to replace them completely as number one goalkeeper. If someone's out of form and he's not playing very well and he looks like he's got the heebie-jeebies, especially as a goalkeeper, give him a few
I
weeks off.
didn't even think he would get dropped if he hadn't got injured. Like,
I'm not convinced he would have done either.
I'm
to be honest
probably
with you.
with you on that. Now, what I will say, in because of everything that's happened in regards to the injury or whatever it's been, right? I am happy now that I have been able to say Ramsdale. Right? I am pleased that this moment's happened and we've getting 10 out of 12 points. However, the answer is no. The answer is I'm sorry now.
I think I'll stay firmly like on the fence because I don't think Ireland are good enough at this moment in time. I think we should improve that area. I don't think Ramsdale been tested a great deal in regards to shots on target.
No,
in the last few games.
I still
He hasn't actually made
I
a
still
save yet,
think
has he?
Ramsdale is a good shot stopper.
So
But that's not what I'm interested in.
Opposite
I'm
to,
sorry,
to best
Nick Pope's a great shot stopper as well.
in the air. I'm 100%
That's-
with you. Cross it, and this is where I said his weakness was. What even when he wasn't in the team, commanding his area is nowhere as good. And I know people will turn around and say Nick Pope's hasn't been great, but that's been over the last 3 or 4 games.
Well, I mean,
that's happened.
Dubravka's done really well for Burnley so far. I think he's excellent. Conceded a corner on Saturday. And that doesn't mean he's a bad goalkeeper.
He was 100% fouled
He
by
was fouled,
Anthony
aye.
Gordon.
Oh, 100%.
It's a bump like that.
But-
That's interesting that you say that when the Nick Pope at Brentford won.
Because he was
He
fouled.
wasn't. I was
He was.
I was just doing a bite there. But he wasn't.
I
Pope
was
wasn't fouled, like.
amazed that didn't get looked at more. Like, because Gordon is literally
Gives a bit of a
backing him
nudge,
into
yeah.
the
Yeah, he
into the
just
goal.
bumped him like guy.
Shall we discuss that goal a little bit more, or did you want to?
But I just wanted to the Premier League
David John Ruddy.
for this season. Well, he's big, isn't he? The Premier League this season has probably been
Yeah, young
most
Dowler in.
the most Stoke-esque for set pieces and stuff.
Long throws.
Every
and stuff.
team.
Yeah.
I'm noticing corner routines are the same no matter what team you are.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be lumbered right around the goalkeeper. It's all tussle, hustle bustle, and they're putting it right in on you. Which is surprising actually to see the game go that way, but it happens in cycles, I guess. But that's what worries us about Ramsdale is that in a game, no matter who you're playing against now, it's not just Stoke used to have a long throw. Everyone does it now. That's the only part. And I'm telling you on Sunday, and I'll be happily on Monday eat my words, but I am shit scared for Sunday because of that. Because all them do is put
Well,
balls in the
Sunderland, when
box.
they played Arsenal, they brought the advertising hoardings in, didn't they? Because Arsenal, but they're long throws.
Which actually affected Sunderland because them had took more long throws than any team in the league at that point.
Yeah.
It's quite strange. But anyway, but they're just going to pepper the box and like Ballard, he'll header a wall for them. And I'm just worried that Ramsdale looks like a child in goal.
Well, you'd think that your big centre backs would help prevent that as well, like.
Well, I thought that in the last 30 seconds of Spurs. I thought that against Burnley, they had two of them had a free header in the last minute. I'm sorry, but we've got the biggest team in the world. Attacking wise, I think we'll look better. I will definitely say that. Attacking wise, we've never looked, because I've moaned a lot about attacking set pieces. We've looked quite dangerous.
Set piece coaches start earning his money.
One way of the field, one way of the
stop
field.
doing that stupid kickoff thing.
We need to get a defensive one in because we're kind of. I don't think we'll look.
No, we
confident
did think
at all.
that was going to happen again at the weekend,
we'll
didn't we, when
stop
he
it,
brought
aye.
Tonali on.
We've conceded twice within 30 seconds from that kickoff.
Yeah.
Like one where Tonali just pings it out off twice within like 30 seconds.
No surprise because it's bullshit.
Something ridiculous like that.
So it's weird. It's a weird thing.
It's
That, like,
horrendous.
yeah, I don't really get it.
We'll discuss Bruno's corner/goal, Mark. It was amazing. It's the 100th time it's happened. No, sorry, the 20th time it's
I
happened.
was going to say.
That's a lot.
You want
20th
You're supposed to say
time.
video 5 times.
It's the 20th time it's happened in the Premier League, and Bruno's the first Newcastle United player to do it.
It was.
Did he mean it?
He meant it because he tried it. He tried it during the week.
Yeah, he hit the
He
crossbar.
tried to do
didn't
the same thing. And he came out afterwards and said he'd been practicing and training, probably because he did get so close.
Probably
in the cup
too much because he kept on
Spurs.
pissing trying it afterwards.
Yeah,
as well.
he tried another. He was close again, though, wasn't he?
He's nowhere near it.
But I mean, like, it was audacious, wasn't it? It caught everybody, including the crowd, by surprise because everybody almost like stopped and went, has that gone in?
Nestled in.
It was like almost a bit of a shock that would scored from it because you don't expect that to happen, but it just literally just did float in and went into the
I wonder
pretty
if
much the top corner, didn't it?
statistically, I wonder if you're more likely to score from a corner direct than you are just tossing it in the box and getting someone's head in it because that's why we keep like 11 men in the box defending corners. And I was talking to Smithy at the game on Saturday, and I would say the same, that you'd rather, why not have a Langer staying forward or Gordon staying forward? The fact is, extra body, because it takes some of them out, the more people there are in the box, the harder it is to score a goal because it's, like obstruction, stuff like that, people in the way. So crossing the ball for a corner is a waste of time, basically.
I think it was maybe I really wish I could remember the game. There was a game before the Spurs one
Where, just a couple of weeks
where
ago.
Bruno took a corner, and my God, he put it right on the money. And I think they tipped it over for another one. And I was like, "Oh Jesus!" Like the bend he had on the ball. And I think he is just trying to put it in that area. I mean, it's and if nobody touches it, it will go in. Literally, that's how much bend he's putting the ball. If nobody touches the ball, it'll go in the goal.
There's a great camera angle where the camera's right behind him and the power that he sticks on that corner. I wish he could hit a shot like that. when he's
Well,
ironic.
I will say that he scored a beautiful goal against Spurs when he came off the bench. I didn't think he had that power. It was a hell of a strike, man.
Lovely.
And I think he still seems to drag passes. He tries and plays a long ball across the field. He seems to, I don't know, it's got a weird technique.
That
which
free kick that he tried not long afterwards as well.
Yeah, it was
Probably one of the
awful.
worst free kicks
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
it was horrendous.
But then he did in the second half. He had a chance from a very similar position to what he scored against. And Dubravka tips it
yeah, he
over.
did. Yeah, I think he's actually
He's
getting
improving.
better. Yeah, I mean, Bruno. I mean,
He was excellent on Saturday.
he was
wasn't
amazing again.
Great.
When
He
he
was,
was.
yeah.
It's one of those games where you had to be best, especially with the two players either side of him. If Bruno's not up in his top game there, God, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, no, he was brilliant. On among the 20 Premier League players who have scored one, and he was the first Newcastle one. I know that's technically the case, but I was there in '97. Robbie Elliott scored one against Derby, but it hit the goalkeeper on the way, and so it counts as no goal.
Right, okay.
But it was in my eyes, Robbie Elliott was the first.
It's always a thing with if you hit the in-swinger, isn't it, that you've got a bit of a chance, because when it is going into that position, it just needs any sort of little glance on it. To your point of having that amount of players in the box, can easily come off one of the defenders and go in. So
That's every team's doing it now. They are putting it on literally in the 6-yard box, almost on the line.
It is
Yes.
strange this season, though, Derek. I like how every single team seems to be doing the same sort of set pieces.
It's shocked me. It really has, and it's
Especially
developed.
long throws coming back.
it all stemmed from your real team, didn't it? Arsenal
yeah.
starting at the back post and running to the front.
I can't wait till one time. Like, I hope Derek gets a job as a set piece coach, because I'm sure it was you that at one point said, "Just don't put a wall there."
He did.
I'll
He
say
100%
this
did.
time and time again. I'll be here all night.
Well,
It has to be a certain amount of yardage. I want to go through it again.
I can't wait. Right, I hope it happens. Right, when
Mate,
Newcastle
he's not scoring.
got concede a free kick as we give away a foul, and we just don't put a wall there for you. Go fuck.
Well, they better put a wall up on Sunday. No, but depending on how far the person's out, I truly, honestly believe, putting the wall up and having the goalkeeper stand that side is given what that person taking the free kick is trained for all his life.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen
Just wait a
Alan
second.
Shearer
Just
take a free kick?
Just wait a second. And did the walls work on that one?
They did 9
Well,
times
that's
out
the
of
thing,
10.
but
Yeah,
he
but
would
Shearer's
just
free kick was very close.
absolutely blast
Yeah,
it.
but
I'm
very
going to
close.
explain you again. Yeah, exactly. So it all depends on how far they're away. I totally understand you have a wall if he's really, really close. So I'm going to go back to what I was saying. If you put a wall up, the keeper's got two options. One is a gamble and go away over the wall. Sometimes that'll happen. The attacker will go to the keeper's side and bless him. He's took a step and he's done. I truly believe if you're 35 to 40, but 25, 30 yards out, don't make a wall. Keeper stands right in the middle of the goal, which is key, by the way, not the one side or the other, in the middle, and goes hit. If he scores from there, sack the keeper.
We've had a comment from Danger Boy Steve that says Schmeichel as a pundit was a big fan of no wall for any free kick further than 25 yards.
I remember a few years ago.
Who was that? Danger Boy Steve.
Danger Boy Steve.
A few years ago, there's
Decker's under the desk here with his phone out, man.
was one of Sunderland's old goalkeepers, David Priest. He's a coach. He was at Aberdeen, I think. He played for Aberdeen. He said the same thing. And this is I don't think he played in the Premier League, David Priest. He's a good lad as well, of course. But he was saying, speaking as a goalkeeper, at times when the wall, the thing is, if you've got a wall up for a free kick 30 yards out, let's say, the striker knows, right, if I put that there, whereas without a wall, you're still going to have bodies in between the taker and the goal as well. Sure. It's just going to be dissipated. They're going to be more kind of.
Wait till they do
there is a chance, mind you, where, because first of all, I think if you get in there, they've scored Wolves. Man United. If it's 1-1, like, but, now if you did it the first time, I reckon the kicker hasn't got a clue what to do. Mm-hmm. I literally think you'd be, what knows going on here? I do believe then, I think the attacking team would actually make their own wall. It sounds ridiculous to say that, but I think they would. Because now you see them standing in the wall, don't you, to create the gap, whatever. But
change the rules to stop you from being able to do that.
If you imagine, I just don't understand from that far out why you would block the goalkeeper's view. I do not understand it. And you're giving them a target. The target is over the wall. Like, literally, Ward-Prowse made a living out of it. Like, imagine Ward-Prowse didn't have a wall. What's he going to do? Just bend it. The keeper's laughing in his face and catch a ball. He'd literally take one step to his left and catch it.
Put your head down and absolutely break.
And how many times are you going to hit the target by doing that?
You're right what you say. Like, if a keeper stood behind it, if we've got a wall set up, block on the left-hand side, they go, let's say, the keeper stands on the right. If a kick taker's never going to put it in the right, or very, very rarely going to put it where the keeper is. He's going to put it, there's loads of space. I'm going to hit it there.
Yeah.
Bend it back in. Keeper in the middle's got more chance of.
He'll literally take two steps to his left. He dives, sorry, of course. In moments, he literally just catch a ball and go.
It's food for thought, I think. Like, I'm not saying it would definitely work, it'll be great, but it'd be interesting to see it. Like,
it'll happen. I think it will happen because football evolves, doesn't it? People lie down now behind walls, for Christ's sake. We never thought we'd see that, right? So it'll probably happen.
A draft excluder
isn't for me. Peter Schmeichel, one of the best ever to do it. If he believes that, then crack on. Like,
if anybody's got any questions, send them in. We will go through as many as possible.
We need to ask Eddie
towards the end.
Somehow ask Eddie how that question, or someone. I just love to see the reaction.
Question, I don't think it'll be allowed back on the press room.
I don't know.
Shall we try and arrange a video with, I don't know, Ryan Taylor, and we'll be the wall? Then not be a wall.
Ryan, I'm telling you, he ain't scoring like Ryan Taylor's not. Like, no offense, Ryan.
Who's going to go in goal? I'm not
Ben, because he's unbelievable.
Ben's
good.
Ben is the best goalkeeper ever.
Again, though, I didn't reiterate to Mark's point here. Like, Shearer used to score some on the edge of the box, right? You make a wall there. I am not saying for a second don't make a wall there, but 25, 30 yards, like in the middle, shoot, I'll save it.
Going through the questions straight away, Callum has sent in the question just now saying, will you lads be doing an old school 4 screens watch along for the derby? Definitely not.
No,
we don't know what we're doing for the derby, to be fair. But
I'm in a kid's party. I'm not watching it.
I don't blame you, to be fair.
Can I come with you?
Right, no.
It's not even my kid. It's not even my kid.
Yeah. Just do anything not to watch it.
Yeah, we're not sure what we're doing.
I'm dreading it.
I'll be watching it somewhere.
Are you watching it in Shields or not?
I don't know what you're doing.
Because the lads were saying they wanted to watch it in Shields. I'm like, no, because
I wouldn't be watching it.
Yeah, I'd be away from Shields.
Some of them are saying, can I come to your house and watch it? I'm like, well, you can, but I did fancy going out.
Like yours, yeah.
And then, but then I hate people, so I didn't really want to go out.
I'm
no offense, I love every one of you.
Watching football with people's horrible. Like,
it's awful.
Yeah.
The bars are nightmare. People are pricks. It's awful.
There are opportunities. We could watch it in here, but there's 2 issues with that. One, I'm not going to advertise because we shouldn't be doing it in here. And 2 is phones would literally have to leave a phone somewhere else because it might be a little bit behind.
I probably will go and watch it out, but if I am, it has to be town. But then
I'll be heading to town on Sunday, but I don't know where yet.
Yeah, I couldn't watch it in somewhere like South Shields, like because it's just too mixed.
I don't think I ever have
like
watched
being
it
in
apart from in my house.
Being in a mixed pub on derby days, just not my idea.
Like
of
Steve's
fun.
mentioning, it's the same in Chesley Street. It's
Yeah,
the same in somewhere like Washington.
and Durham, yeah.
So I'll be heading.
So I heard the Westos in Newcastle pub. The Reckon Westos
is.
So Can he? But
Yeah, the West was more Newcastle than the Counties, more
yeah,
Sunderland, isn't it?
yeah.
But
then-
even the Ashley is Newcastle pub, but you get Mackems in there, wouldn't you? So it's
We'll see. We'll have a discussion after.
I just don't want it to happen. So that's why I haven't planned. I just
Can we
don't want it to
dodge
come.
Can I just wake up on Monday?
I just
Yeah,
don't
when the
want it to
fixtures
come.
came out, it was at least it's December. It's ages away, that.
But on a positive note, we've had signs of revival for Newcastle United, and Sunderland have drawn one, lost one. So their form's dipped a little bit. I know it was against Liverpool and Man City, albeit, but Newcastle's form's picked up. We've got our first away win of the season as well already, so that's
agree with that,
off we're back as well. So I'm
and
a
it
bit
was
more
good,
positive now
good
than what I
performance
was.
as well.
Yes,
that
The goodness
away
of-
win
We're a
was.
good side. Newcastle are a good side. Sunderland, are, like I said, they're relentless. And the problem we have is that we love to concede goals late, nail up to score goals late. So we're going to need to be 2 or 3 up.
They are incredibly. I watched them against Liverpool, and I have to say Liverpool were awful. Certainly the first half.
Yeah, they're terrible. Like.
But Liverpool are. Sorry, I apologise. Sunderland are really well organised. They work incredibly hard for each other, and I just think because it's in their building,
Well,
Gonna
what
be
I've,
tough,
what
yeah.
I've seen from the few games that I've watched from Sunderland, and the games that I've watched that haven't been great, as in game from either side, it's been pretty bad. Where it seems like Sunderland seem to sit back a lot. They concede a lot of shots at goal, but then they're so dangerous at coming and hitting you, and that can happen at any point in the game.
That chance at the end of the Liverpool game where
Exactly.
the keeper plays a ball.
Great ball.
Is it Isidore who runs around the keeper and then?
Yeah,
I
great
mean,
ball.
I seen the. I don't know if you've seen the highlights of the City game. Don't know if you did or not.
Yeah.
Nah.
I should have been 2-2. If I'm being really honest with you.
Really?
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
Xhaka hit smashed off the post, didn't he?
What a strike! And Isidore misses a 1-on-1. He blasted straight at the goalkeeper. He had all the goal aim and hit it straight on. So they do create chances, no doubt about it, and they're really hard to break down. And I think they've got one of, or if not the best, home record in the league.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
I think they're undefeated as well.
It's going to be difficult. You know what I mean?
It's going to be a hard game.
But I agree with Bessie, right? Like, to try and be positive, like we do have good players. Like we have players that can hurt them.
Yeah.
And if we turn up and if we can match their aggression and their intensity, we've got a chance. That's where the game's going to look for me. If you're talking quality, I think we will win the game because I think we have the
Agreed.
quality within the
Yeah.
team. My only worry is how much these lads will be. The aggressive, the intensity. You know what I mean? And if we can match that, we've got a really good
And
chance.
we do have a big game coming on Wednesday, Mark,
Which
as well. Let's
which
not
we
forget
just
that.
could scrap it. Which wouldn't happen.
Scrap it.
Let's play the kids.
That in the grand scheme of things is a bigger game than Sunday.
Scrap it.
It is. No, Mark, you're right. Aye, it is.
No, it is. It is if you're thinking with your head. Yeah.
Well, that's generally where I like to think with.
No,
do
no,
not.
In most situations.
I do not right now.
Which one? I know. Which one means more to you though? If you,
Oh well, that's a totally different question, isn't it? But yeah,
I would
it's
take a punt in them. I'm not bothered.
it's
What about the game?
I would honestly. What? Sorry, what? Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah.
you do not want to lose on Sunday.
take a point
do you?
out.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, take a
the
point out.
top
I'm
and
with
bottom
you.
of it.
I'm
You
with
do, and anybody, whether you support Newcastle or you support Sunderland, with any sense, would say the same. There'll be people out there saying, "Oh, absolutely not," because we'll batter them. Blah, blah,
I have
blah.
not seen that
You
yet.
you cannot go into a derby thinking like that. Form completely goes out of the window.
Anything can happen.
Anything that happens before. I mean, how many times have we gone in against them where we've absolutely been the top dogs,
Most times.
flying in the league, and God, we just got to
3-0.
look at the last bar the FA Cup. What's happened in the games before that?
Even that FA Cup game, I went in that nervous. And we
Yeah,
were Premier
yeah,
League
yeah.
team. I was shitting me pants.
But
derby?
realistically and sensibly, there's absolutely no way that they could have beaten us in that game because of the way things are. But
Yeah.
I still was absolutely having 3 shits in the morning as soon as I got up.
What happened to your phone?
But that's because we're trained to be that way. Because it's
Yeah.
Newcastle. Good
Do you-
things didn't happen to us often.
Do you know what? And it's a comment that came in from old angry noob gamer that said, "How many reds?" I can see this one being a feisty one, mine.
Oh, 100%.
Especially
Yeah,
with like Xhaka and
and
Bruno,
Joe
Joe
Linton's
Linton.
playing, yeah.
Like it's and even Fabian. Fabian's got a
Big Dan Burn as
loose
well.
wire. Dan Burn.
This is.
I
gonna-
think Dan Burn will come back in for that one
I do.
He's got to start.
just for height.
You've been
got
talking
to
about,
start.
yeah. I think
I
so.
want players on there that know what it's about, and Burn knows what it's
Burn
about.
and Chell, maybe just sent up.
So the last time we went into this game, the FA Cup bestie, we had a lot of local lads involved, or in and around the squad.
Yeah.
You had. Let's just quickly go through. Would have had
Longstaff,
Longstaff in there.
Miley, Burn.
Miley, yeah, Miley.
Miley Byrne was another one. Jacob Murphy could put in there.
Murphy,
He's
technically,
with his
yeah.
Newcastle roots.
Miggy.
There's there's one that we're forgetting. Who is? I don't know. It could be any. Well, if you could look at the like Gillespie,
Anderson.
like that. Anderson, yes. Now there's not so many. You've still got Danburn, Miley there, Murphy. But that's probably it, I would say, right now.
Mark Gillespie would have been the other one as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how important that is. There's fewer Mackems in the Sunderland squad.
I suppose.
I don't think that really comes. Maybe a little bit, but I
don't
would.
think they've got any now, have they?
I would rather. I don't know.
Maybe one.
Well, he got sent off. He bottled it, didn't he? Oh, 9 got
Well, 9
sent
and a
off.
half or 3 minutes.
1 minute,
Oh,
came on, got sent off.
I don't think there's any. I wouldn't give it. I'd rather play a team full of Mackems than the team that they've got now.
It's that. What's that kid from Hebben or Jarrow? Somewhere like that.
Daniel's a Hebben lad.
Yeah, maybe.
Is he playing much?
Did he
There was a rumour that he was a Newcastle.
Yeah.
Fan.
Oh, the young lad man.
Young kid.
Oh, well, he doesn't play.
Not Jack Clark. He went to Ipswich.
And
Yeah, Rigg, Chris Rigg.
Chris
Rigg,
Rigg, that's the one.
I
Yeah,
think he might be well known
he's
somewhere.
Newcastle. Yeah.
I think what
He's
I'm
only really like local that they've got now, isn't it?
Daniel. If he's still
Liverpool
there.
9.
to say.
Liverpool 9, Sunderland.
No, he's not one. He's a Cockney.
Well,
Liverpool 9.
aye, but he loves Sunderland, though, doesn't
Yeah,
he? Like, he loves Sunderland.
Well, he does like
Do you
that,
know what
but
I mean? He got sent off. He bought it anyway. But anyway, he wouldn't probably play it. What I also try and tell myself in these moments is our lads, this group of players, have played huge games. They've experienced Champions League nights. They've won a cup final, man. They've went to Wembley and won a cup final.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get much more pressure, and you're going to have to handle the atmosphere from the fans and that. But the occasion, I would hope that we're a bit more weathered, if that makes sense. We've had a cup final defeat. We've grown from that. We've got another one. We've had Champions League nights. We've had some great nights. So you're hoping that can sort of experience has to help.
And this team of lads have spent a lot of time with each other the last couple of seasons as well.
And the reason why I do like having Joe Burn, I would hope, be slapping them all, saying, "Listen, lads," and I think Bruno and Joe Linton, of course, they're not Geordies, but they are in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Them will know exactly what this means, exactly what it means, and that's what you hope during this week. They get back from Germany, hopefully unscathed, and it's go time. Like it's go time. It's the worst day of my life.
I'm nervous.
I hate it,
I'm nothing about it. I'm more nervous now because I'm talking about it. But no.
I swear to God, I woke up. It was last week. It was Thursday, Wednesday. I can't remember. I woke up and it was about 10:03, something like that. And he started saying, "Do you want some man?" I went, "I've just had a dream." I woke up out of the dog. I was sitting, not in the end of the bed, but I was sitting up in bed.
I'm not sleeping on Saturday night.
And I was just thinking about it. Thinking, I cannot take this. Like,
it's always the night before and then the day.
I'm always really good at putting it on my head.
Awful. I don't.
I've got no bother with it. Like
I don't think about it until it's the day of, and I wake up and I'm like, oh.
I'm
a bit like that. Yeah,
I'm going to get so drunk on Saturday night that I just black out until Sunday morning.
Mick's, me mate Mick, he's gone on a flight. He's gone away. He's booked the flight.
Is that desperate?
He said, "I'm not going to watch it."
8-hour flight.
He's gone to Australia. He said, "I booked the flight."
We went on a stag do.
So I'll tell you the story. Me and Mark were on a stag do, and it was the Weir Tyne derby. Kicked off, I think, 15 minutes into the flight. Yeah. We landed. Collegian had been sent off. We lost the game 3-0. Was it 3-0?
We flew over the stadium
late in the first half.
Could see the game going on. Couldn't we?
Never a red card either.
No, we got rescinded.
He's right. No, we'll pump him in the first half.
Yeah,
really good,
so I've never seen as many people trying to get on the phones mid-flight. It was meant.
As the plane was coming down,
as we landed, all you heard was, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" It was horrible, absolutely horrible. But we dodged it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like Mark said, anything can happen in a derby, but we'll have a preview going out for that one as well. I am trying to sort something with a Sunderland fan as well to hear their thoughts on it as well. But we're finding it really hard to find a Sunderland fan that isn't a prick.
There's not many of them exist.
Everyone that I've messaged that would come across pretty well on a podcast recording and setting, balanced view aren't available. And I don't want to go down the usual route of finding somebody that's over excited about it and think they're going to smash one. So
we'll just pop down the bridges and get Dave the Rave on.
Shall we go through some questions? Actually, before we do that, stick with the derby. What strip are we going to go for, Mark?
We'd better go black and white stripes.
Black and white?
Black and white.
I think it will be, yeah.
Black and white. We've already played Sunderland. The last has played each other. Both teams wore their home kits for that one, so that's a sign that it could happen.
Well, ours is more white, isn't it? Ours is predominantly white.
The green one, like
one in the green one now.
I know we have, but even
if you can guarantee it's an Everton win, wear all you want.
Let's beat them in with Saudi colours. Beat them in with Saudi colours. They hate it.
You're right. Like, I want black and white though.
Yeah, I agree. What did we wear last time? Was black and white?
Black and white, yeah.
Just white shorts.
White shorts.
Yeah. That's what it will be again, wouldn't
I think the issue is the back of Sunderland's shirt. Maybe it's a big block that they've got on the back of it. It's just a huge white. What's ours look like on the back of the shirt?
It's
white, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not great.
I've got red numbers in it.
You said that.
No, ours has got.
I was black.
And there's black as well.
Yeah.
That was years ago on the red. The lasses you said that were black and white and red and white. So if it's been signed off there might be a chance. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if Sunderland's lasses have the white patch on the back one.
I see. Right, okay.
I can't remember.
Yeah, that might be a Premier League thing.
Possibly.
Let's go through some questions. Let's forget about the derby for the time being.
I wouldn't mind if I didn't know anyone. If you know, say I didn't know any Sunderland person, then I didn't care.
Any
but I would
Sunderland
care.
person.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all my mates are Mackems. To be honest with you, like
It is just a game of football.
I think other than news, I think all them are. Like,
Yeah.
there's not many that are not. That's what's tough.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them climb out the woodwork recently as
Oh
well.
my Christ! They've all got internet back and everything. It's unbelievable.
Sticking with the whole subject of the next handful of games, Ashfaq has sent in a comment. Thank you very much, Ashfaq. He says, might be an obvious answer, but if you were guaranteed one win from the next 3 games, which do you pick? I don't even need to know who the other two fixtures are.
I'd take 10-0 against Leverkusen. 10-0 defeat. It was the one after Sunderland.
Fulham in the cup.
Fulham.
20-0.
Yeah.
I'd take that.
Out the cup.
Nah, fuck that out. Fulham.
What?
It's Fulham for me.
What, you'd rather win the Fulham one?
Aye, quarterfinals of the League Cup.
No chance.
Back in the semis, aye, definitely.
No. So Ashfaq, there's only one for me.
There's a sensible answer here, isn't there?
3
Isn't
different
it?
competitions.
Like I said before, that this week the biggest game is 2 nights' time. From
Technically, it is, yeah.
Yeah. But in your head and the local behaviour and the bragging rights and all of that, then that's why that game becomes.
I'd rather have
huge.
bragging rights in March and win the trophy again.
Yeah.
No, Fulham for me. I said at the start of the season, if Sunderland gets 6 points all season and they'll toll off us, that's fine.
As long as we finish high.
So I'll beat Fulham in the League Cup semi-final. It'll be a hard one because they're all good teams left in there. But we did it last season. We beat Arsenal over 2 legs.
If we can get a point at Germany, if we can beat Sunderland and get through in the cup, I will never complain ever again. Ever again, you know,
for at least a week.
Ever again.
Until after Man U on Boxing Day or something like that.
I'll never complain again.
Let's see what other questions we've got. This one's from Blue Rhythm Boy. That says, what team does Howe put out on Wednesday? Seem he's going for it in the Champions League, despite the remaining fixtures being tough. I think it would have been a whole different story if we had picked up something against Marseille.
Yeah, I think that would
completely.
be it.
I think we would have went at this game and with maybe a similar team to what we saw against Burnley at the weekend. Some big changes in there, but I think now that we still need to get points on the board in the Champions League, I think it'll be a pretty strong one.
It's going to be a funny game as well because Leverkusen have had a strange all season.
How they do
like the start, they've picked up the last couple.
Let's go to our Bundesliga correspondents on that side of the table.
Once they got rid of Ten Hag,
they've improved since then. But they've had a disease in up and downs. My worry is they are coming into a bit of form at the wrong time for us, but we should still have enough to get a result out over there.
I think we should have beaten Marseille, you know, because that's not a great Marseille team.
I mean, Marseille were poor. Were poor.
They had we scored early on, and they had all the ball afterwards. Yeah. Until
that's the way that we've been away from home, isn't it? It's that away form that's worrying, and I think I don't know.
So I'm going to give you a couple of. Not to worry you too much, yeah.
Oh God,
it's a dagger stat.
So I don't like this.
I hope it is a dagger
stat. The last couple of weeks they've picked up.
Okay, so they beat Benfica 1-0 away. Mm-hmm. Okay, they then beat Heidenheim. That'll do you. 6 out. They then beat Wolfsburg away 3-1. They then beat Manchester City away 2-0.
Yeah,
they then beat Dortmund 1-0 away.
They're doing pretty well then.
So
they won the league a couple of years ago.
All the best. They did lose. To be fair, they lost it against Dortmund in the league, 2-1 at home, but then they beat them in the cup the following week 1-0. They did lose their last game against Augsburg 2-0 though. Mm-hmm. But so that's still, but 6 games they've won 5 of them, and I'm talking Man City away.
Dortmund
away.
Yeah.
So that
they're not mugs. It's Leverkusen, they're a good side. They've been a good side for a long time now.
So we need Luwaloa back and Amiobi. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I think there will be changes. But just following up on that question, this one's came in from Tony Timebridge. That is, basically, if that's the case, what would your team be for the derby? I've mentioned I think Dan Burn will come back in.
100%.
And I hope that's at the centre-back role rather than left-back.
I think Hall starts at left-back. If he was poorly, if he was illness that kept him up for most of the game on Saturday there, then I would assume he'd be ready for Sunday.
The team I want? Is that the question? What he would say?
What would your team be?
What do you think
my team would be Pope and goal. Can't happen, but it would be.
No.
Hey,
Well,
what you want?
Zero up top. Like,
I'd have
no,
him.
like available
Right.
players. Let's go with
So,
available players. Because you'll have Maxi on there.
Ramsdale. I'm still holding out hope for Pope somehow. I don't know why. I just feel he's going to on Friday go. He's back. He's on the grass. He's got 10 pairs of gloves on. He's laughing.
Up.
Ramsdale, Tino, Chow, Burn, Hall.
Yep.
Tonali, Bruno, Joe Linton, Gordon, Baltimore, and Murphy.
Hard to argue with that, like, really. I think, yeah.
I think Barnes and Gordon's probably the only one which I don't know yet.
I think you start with Gordon. I think it's kind of game.
I think Barnes plays tomorrow. And then you see Gordon for Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I feel anyway.
That's a good
Yeah,
shout.
same team.
It's weird because I think Joe Linton's been pretty poor for the most part this season, but
He has
the game against Sunderland's way,
you
it's the
want
kind of
him in
game
for
he
that
really put
game.
his foot in, and like,
It's got to be.
Was he not? I'm sure he was pretty good last time we played Sunderland. Like Joe Linton.
He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant.
Nah, but that Sunderland team was.
Yeah, but
They were
for
dreadful,
me, we all universally, I think, as a fan base, believe that three is our best midfield. Has it been performing at its highest standards? Probably not. No. I want our best possible team on the field, and for me, it's them three.
Yeah,
Bruno's coming into form at the right
I
time
agree
with
with
these
you.
last 2 or 3 games.
I think they're giving him a little bit of a break.
Yeah,
and having Sandro on the bench, I think that's all been done, not with Sunderland in mind, but with the fixtures and all that.
So could
And
you
it's
see
done-
Bruno
it's benefited them.
having a break on Wednesday?
Yep.
Okay.
I could
come in?
with
Tino's apparently not Tino.
Tino.
it's
Sandro.
Tonali's got a niggle apparently.
Yeah.
And the unsure as to
So he's
yeah.
only played 2 halves in the last 2 games,
But
hasn't he?
thankfully, it's not serious. It's like there's something there, but it's nothing bad.
It's just because there's so many games at the minute that it could take longer to.
Danger Boy Steve has just reminded us Joe Linton got injured in the last derby.
Yeah, he did. He was out for ages.
And we actually got worse when he went off the
And I
field.
don't think
remember.
it wasn't a bad challenge or something. It was just like a collision of knees, wasn't it?
I don't think
he
much
was
in it,
knackered
yeah.
afterwards.
It was one of them. But he has to be on because the battle between you've got to try and rattle Shaka, to be quite honest with you. And the only way to do that is you've got to have shit houses on, and that's Joe Linton, that's going to be Bruno. What I'd also say though, you've got to. I'm sorry, I went past the Leverkusen. Just got to manage your emotions, haven't you?
Because there's a few, like I mentioned, you've got Fabian, you've got the 2 Brazilian lads, you've got Bruno, Bruno and Joe Linton, and you've got Gordon. It's already got a red card this season.
The thing is,
I think we will manage our emotions
More than
far
them.
better than they will.
they'll be saying the same about Xhaka, saying Xhaka can get about because he's had a great season so far, and he's got a bit of that in him as well.
I think it's going to be a great battle between him and
It is absolutely Sunderland's cup final on Sunday. It's their biggest game of the season.
No, great, always is.
It feels like it's ours now. To me,
gonna
to
say
me
this
though,
isn't
it
it?
feels like it is
It's
to
not.
me. I know, but to me, it feels
It's
that way.
like Bestie said, it's probably the 3rd most important game that we're going to play in a week.
On paper, it is. It is.
It is.
So let's just go back to the game on Wednesday, right? What midfield do you think you'll see against Leverkusen?
Wednesday, I think might see Miley start.
Okay, shout.
I wouldn't be adverse to that.
Yeah,
I'd maybe even, depending on
Miley
how
Willick and Ramsey
Tonali
again.
is, I wouldn't even be worried about chucking him in there.
It does. I wouldn't be that. Again, I don't think Willick and Ramsey played that badly on Saturday. Neither of them were brilliant, but I think the Premier League, they're decent, good enough players.
There was a big gulf, though, wasn't it? Drop between them.
There is, but it's between Bruno and
Yeah, but I
between
think when Miley's came,
Look
he
at Miley's
he looked
performances the last couple
Yeah.
when he's been in. He's been brilliant.
he has been really good last few games.
He's
aye.
a great player, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's a great player. I think it's perfect.
I remember
What
Eddie Howe-
about the derby then? Do you think it's? I know we all want these three, but if Tonali, let's just say Tonali couldn't, would you throw Miley in there?
I'd
Yeah, because I
chuck
think
Miley in
Miley's
100%.
the closest to a replacement for Tonali. And there's still a big drop between the
Same
two.
even
of
if
them,
Joe
but-
Linton.
Imagine
Like
how
if-
many shits he'd have the night before. God almighty.
Fuck. I've never seen him get nervous.
I've so
I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Eddie Howe did I think it must have been in one of his press conferences, and he gets asked about how Miley is in training, and he says that Miley doesn't see himself as different to the likes of Bruno, Joe Linton, and Tonali. He sees himself as up there, challenging for one of
That's
the
the
spots.
biggest compliment you can give anyone, actually. If he's walking on there thinking that,
Self-confidence.
Love you.
man.
Certainly a good player,
Absolutely.
Miley. I like him. Like,
yeah, I agree totally.
I'm so glad we kept him.
Yeah.
And didn't loan him out and show out.
He'll have loads of Mac and mates as well. being
if you had the
concerned.
if you had the chance of swapping him for Eddie Anderson, hypothetically, completely
Well,
hypothetically,
Anderson's a great player. There's no denying.
I'm not
that.
saying it's going to happen, but if there's
The different players aren't the but given where they are both in their career at the minute, then you'd have to say Anderson because
he's been excellent, hasn't he?
but that's
Or
because
he's England starting
left-
midfielder now and all sorts.
He's went and played 3 years of first team football at Forest, hasn't he? He's developed. It goes back to that same argument that we had on Ivan Toney.
Yeah,
He
that's fair
wouldn't
to
be
say,
the
Mark,
player
yeah.
that he was
That's
at Brentford and stuff if we hadn't let him go and he'd went out and played in the
I
lower
agree.
leagues. And
yeah, that's good. It's good to say that.
I'm not sure if we've got any more questions. I think that's it for the question section, unless you want to bring anything up.
Wissa, what do you think?
Oh, Wissa, we didn't even mention Wissa.
Because he
looked sharp.
1,000th Premier League player.
He looked sharp in that little spell that I was very surprised he came on for as long as he did, like, in fairness.
I didn't think he would come on that early because I didn't see him warm up until about 5 minutes before he came on. And I thought
he was having a good old run out.
Was it the 50, 74 minutes he came on? Am I right?
he had about 20,
50.
about
Yeah,
20
I
minutes.
thought 15, 20 is fine.
So-
I thought he had a... I mean, he should have done better, really, with the moment or the opportunity he had, but he has been out a while.
I think that there's a couple of moments where he linked up the play quite well. There's a couple of moments where he looked like he didn't know what he was doing.
He should have passed it. I thought it was a Langa, wasn't it? Where Langa's
He
basically
overhit it,
marked
didn't he, I
edge
think?
of the box.
Well, he should have given it a lot earlier.
Yeah.
On
He
the
just
deck.
took it to the byline.
Then I almost thought I've got a chance to shoot here. I then realised that option was off. Then tried to chip it out, and it was way too much.
It was-
pace.
But
Yeah, that's right.
The
Yeah.
positive news in it, no matter how he played in the 15, 20 minutes that he got, he was available on the
Yep.
bench, and that's what we've been waiting for. And that
100%.
moment probably came a little bit quicker than we were expecting since the last delay, Bestie.
Well, yeah. Well, I thought there was a press conference a few weeks ago where Howe said he's not going to set a date because how many transfer windows, how many international breaks have there been? Well, we've been going all international break now, Wizards. And now he is back, and he looked all right. He looked pretty fit. I think it was just unfortunate that he came on at the point of Burnley had really settled into that kind of back nine by that point. And there was just no space at all. But it'd be interesting to see if we do play against a team who press higher up, because you could see he was kind of on the last man a little bit.
Yeah.
I would like to see what we can do with him there. I don't expect that'll be. It's a shame that he didn't come back a week or two early, as I say, Chris, because it would have been a good option for the derby. Where I don't know how Sunderland are going to set up. If they sit deep, then Baltimore might be the better bet for the start. And then, but he would. Whistler's not going to start a derby. Let's put. I don't think he's anywhere near there yet. But
you could probably have the discussion about Sunderland's main centre back and Nick Valdemar came up against each other not so long ago, and Dan Bollard won almost every aerial battle. But the one that he didn't win,
was a goal.
Valdemar scored it.
The shoulder, wasn't it? I think.
No idea.
I don't think it was a clean header, but a goal's a goal, isn't it? Yeah.
You know the Tottenham game. I had this. I wanted to say this, but then I conceded so late. Everything just went out the window, and everyone was fuming. Bruno didn't start, and Gordon didn't start. Is that correct? Yeah, and he brought them off the bench, or was it? Am I wrong? There was a Barnes he brought off.
Can't remember.
Apologise. It was anyway.
Barnes started that one.
He made two substitutions.
Definitely brought Bruno on.
Aye. And I remember thinking, the team that was on the field was good. It was fine. It was good. Tonali was on there, etc., etc. And then we brought on the likes of Bruno, and I think it was Barnes, or perhaps it was Gordon. One of the other.
Did Gordon not score the penalty against Spurs?
No, he scored.
No.
Yes.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yes,
Two
I think
back-to-back
he did,
penalties,
Aye,
he must
so-
have started.
scored two.
So it must have been Barnes then, right? So we brought them two on. I'm thinking, wow, like that's amazing. To be a bit, and Bruno was immense second half, by the way.
He's had a really good little run.
So there's a chance that, like, so the derby, for example, to fast forward a little bit, you think at the bench he could be available, right? For you've got Alanga you could bring on, you've got Barnes you could bring on, you've got
Strongest team
Wissa you
this
could
season.
bring on, like, fuck, like there's some real options here, like,
I've
you know.
got the pop and the fullbacks and goalkeeper, but
Yeah,
okay,
I agree.
enjoy, aren't we?
Absolutely, agree. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
But when you could argue it's not Tonali, I suppose you could say as well. But
There-
compared to
there's
last
some-
Champions League season,
I
Goal
feel like
goal
there's-
now, obviously, because Pope's injured as well. That takes it down to Ruddy.
There's game changers there, you know, when you need to make a difference or an impact. There's players you look at the bench and you actually believe in. So many times over the years, I look at the bench. Anyways, this.
three goalkeepers.
Do you know what I mean? Exactly. 4 left backs and 3 keepers.
We used to
Yeah.
sit when we wanted Mickey to be taken on and go, Jacob Murphy.
Yeah, no,
True.
it's
How
true,
things
true.
have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One mention, me and Mark bumped into one of our listeners on Saturday in the concourse.
We did.
We had a good chat with him, so thanks very much. He was saying very lovely comments about all of it. So
People
that-
on
that
Twitter
was
will
nice
know
to
him
hear.
as Kenny Wharton sits on the ball.
Was Kenny Wharton.
Oh, so
Yeah, that's who it was. He came over to us, and he actually said, because I'm very similar to Tekka, he said that he saw us last week or the week before, and he didn't want to come up to us because he knows that I hate people. Because I think I said that on one of the podcasts. But what I was referring to is just busy environments, like the concourses at away games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mentioned that, the Evan one that I was at. Anything else that you want to... Oh, there's been a couple of mentions about this. Our thoughts on the Salah situation at Liverpool, Mark.
Hilarious.
It's
Absolutely
outstanding, isn't it?
hilarious.
That's great. It's so good. Like, yeah, just the way it's kind of gone full circle, almost.
It's great.
And I don't think Salah's behaved particularly well the weekend there, saying what it's the kind of thing he shouldn't be saying in public. But he was similar with the contract thing last year. He was kind of quite open with his thoughts and stuff like that. But it's great that you see that they are struggling, and obviously the fellow we've sold them hasn't hit the ground running at all.
Leeds fans were giving him some at the weekend as
yeah, I
well,
saw
which
that.
was nice.
Yeah, it's very, very
I
satisfying.
thought we
that,
get
like.
it everywhere.
Because I thought I heard
Very
it,
satisfying.
and I think it must be Liverpool fans saying something different then. Like, you
Yeah.
know, when you hear, I thought I heard it, and then it wasn't until I went on Twitter later where they were all saying it. I think with the Salah thing, I mean, the lack of self-awareness is incredible.
Yeah.
To come out there and play as poorly as he has all season, and then to say I've been thrown under the bus, I shouldn't be on the bench, I don't have to prove myself because I already have. It's unbelievable.
My
comments.
mind was blown when I read
Blown.
that.
I'll tell you what else is great. It follows on only a couple of days later from Arne Slot saying that we haven't got a Jacob Murphy.
Like, was that real? Because I've read it.
Yeah,
a few
yeah,
times, and I was like,
100%.
I need to see that video.
Well, I'm
again.
gonna
Yeah.
play
What's
of the
funny,
profiler.
I think what is funny, everyone is laughing at that and taking the piss, but really everyone has also said that
We said it
because it's
Yeah.
true.
It's completely
It's all
true. Yeah.
inverted wingers inside.
And it's
forward.
not to
I
say
get it
Murphy's
all.
better than Salah, but it's
Yes.
it's
No,
the
we
way
said it. Yeah.
he
He
was
said
set.
profile, meaning that. type
Yeah,
of
he
player.
was set up to play for Isaac last season, pretty much.
I
Murphy,
think
wasn't
basically you titled it as his secretary.
he? Yeah, a secretary or assistant, one of the two.
iPhone
But
without
yeah,
the charger, I've been seeing a lot as well, which I thought I
What?
was
the charger. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, sold Liverpool an iPhone, but kept the charger.
kept the charger.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite funny actually. And I'd actually noticed the lad who originally tweeted that was getting loads of grief, as you can imagine, from
Yeah.
Liverpool fans. But now then Slot said that, he's actually just recently retweeted it again and
Yeah.
went, so even your own manager's saying it now. So like,
Yeah.
come on, Liverpool fans, apologise. But I just, it's a funny one, isn't it? Like when sometimes players are that, Ronaldo did it in Man United, when they are that big, that they almost just think they're immune and they're in their own universe. You know what I mean? And it just shocked me because he called out Carragher because Carragher had been saying, I want more to come out and speak.
Yeah,
Because they're really up against it here.
Yeah,
And
'cause you mentioned- yeah.
Curtis Jones is getting hard in front of the media. No. I want Salah. But Salah will only speak when he's not getting paid enough or he's unhappy about something else.
Yeah.
And he's done it again. It's
Do you
just
think
awful, man.
this has taken a little bit of the heat away from Arne Slot? Because a lot of people are saying that he's not going to last much longer. Now,
I
this
think
came
if
out.
anything, it's made it worse.
Do you reckon?
It's bad. It's
Ooh.
player management, isn't it?
I've seen it.
I think it's a play
I've seen it like 60-40 from the bits I've seen. Is there's a lot of fans are against Salah going, what on earth are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
There's some other ones thinking happy days because this is now going to be a power play of either sack him or keep me, or I'm not playing again. So some people are thinking in the reverse of that, they'll sack Slot.
How old Salah now? Is he 33, 34?
He would have been going at the end. Of the
He's on
season anyway.
£400,000 a week. He's been signing a new contract for £400,000 a week.
Struggled
And
towards
the
the
club
last
have
season.
threw him under the bus and they haven't kept promises. They're giving you £400,000 a week and they've spent £500 million on the squad. I'm sorry. Come on, yeah. Come on.
Mm.
But they did hit he struggled. I mean, I remember the PSG game, the Champions League last year, and that was just before the cup final, and he didn't really get a kick in either game.
Right.
And he had a pretty poor run towards the end last year, like springtime maybe. I was surprised.
Cup final.
I was surprised they kept him on.
Was it him and Van Dijk that got the extensions, the contracts? Wasn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah,
Last
that's
season?
something because Van
Yeah.
Dijk struggled this season as well.
Yeah.
Them two and Trent were out of
Yeah.
contract.
He looks terrible, Van Dijk, now.
Mhm.
And it is great to see. Like, but obviously there's loads of our fans who are free Salah and all that, which is hilarious. It's brilliant. you
Yeah, it's
know.
been some of the comments there as well.
That's one of the funniest things though that I saw was when Salah's doing the interview and the Liverpool press officer is standing behind him, and when he just comes out with like these statements, "I've been thrown under the bus," you can just go and see the colour drain out
He
of his
just does
face,
that.
and he
He
goes
You give me some work.
like
He's
that.
like, shit.
And then he's straight on his phone, like typing, obviously sending a message to somebody saying, "We've got a fire to put out here."
He even calls out Harry Kane. He mentions Harry Kane. in these
Does he?
interviews. Oh, you see.
I've not seen it all.
He
Like,
went, he goes off the end.
There's so many things. He must have been thinking of all these things for so long.
He just said
And it all came out in one go. And he's on about Harry Kane saying that when Harry didn't score for 10 games, no one said anything, which I disagree with, by the way. People were, but
Mhm.
he's saying everyone just supported him and showed him support. But I haven't scored for a while, and I'm apparently the devil, and I'm the worst player. And it was really weird. It was really
Do you
weird.
reckon his last will post something like Dubravka's last did as well? Saying,
Oh.
what is it?
Sometimes life's not fair.
Life's
so,
not
yeah.
fair.
Well, Dubravka had an interview last week where he said, didn't he? He said the crap with that. He says, I stayed for the cup final and all that, but I had that run of form, signed a new contract, and it didn't place.
Broken promises he was talking about, wasn't he?
Mm.
But to be fair, it was a nice little send off. A send off that he didn't. Well, he did get one away at Arsenal, was it?
When he was full of tears on the semi final.
That
Yeah,
was meant to be his
He
last
came
game.
back and he got
that's-
that a bit of a booster.
Well, that's where the story begins. That whole thing because after that game, he was meant to be going to sign for the Saudi club.
Yeah.
But he actually spent 5 nights in a hotel in London because the transfer was on and off.
is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It was a nice little send off, especially
He
towards the
looked
Gallowgate.
quite emotional.
He
going
did,
to
yeah.
the
He was
pitch again.
crying.
He was.
Yeah, he was
I thought
crying.
I saw him having a bit of a
He honestly, it was a nice little moment. He was the last player to leave the field as
Yeah,
well.
I stayed until he was up.
That was lovely. That.
Yeah,
That was lovely. And I loved him, mate. And I'll always go. His debut against Man United stands as one of the best I've seen debut-wise. Unbelievable. I thought we had signed the best goalkeeper in history.
You just knew he was going to have a worldie at the weekend, and he pulled off.
I don't think he did have a
Apart from
worldie.
that corner he conceded.
He made a couple of good saves,
He was
but
100%
I
foul.
don't think he had a worldie. Like,
Does that not
Yeah, I
worry?
think
Can
he
I,
played really well.
sorry to say this. I'm really sorry to go back on this, but I'm with you, by the way. I thought it was a foul. Does it not concern you that we've scored a goal that shouldn't have probably been given? We scored a pen. And that's it. That's what work.
But we also hit the bar, hit the crossbar. He's saved 3.
it's just a bit, yes, directly from a corner and a penalty. You don't get. It's not going to happen every week, is it? So
Nah, I didn't
The
think.
week before.
Oh, no, with 10 men, I didn't think we put them under
And
much
that one
pressure at
probably
all.
wasn't a penalty
It's
either.
swings and roundabouts, though, isn't it?
Hey, I
Because
know it
you
does,
could
Dan Burnham.
arguably say if Alanga doesn't get brought down, chances of he scores.
No,
God,
no,
knows
yeah.
now.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, when that Swedish fella was here, he was going through 1-on-1 with the keeper every week and missing.
I know, but like you would think the odds, like in any player's favour of the 1-on-1 with the keeper, you would expect that. So I don't know. I was just trying to put it back on a positive.
yeah, sorry.
But no, that occurred to me as well. Now it is a little bit. Well, I mean, hitting the frame of the goal. I mean, although it is still a miss, it's as close as you can get without scoring. Like, so yeah,
True, yeah. I mean, there was another, you did an amazing save, but I believe that was from a deflection off their defender. Like, but I suppose that is pressure. Well, I'd also I'm going to try and be positive now. I went and put 4 against away at Everton, and they're now 4th top or 6th top. So we can do it. I understand.
But scoring goals, like,
just thought, it was a bit strange. I have seen a tweet, a message here. We got Bournemouth in the FA Cup.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
The draw was there.
7 January.
I was training at the time.
So there's now 20 quid coming up the bank account.
30.
The 30.
30 in the FA Cup. Aye.
Oh,
It's 20 for the Carabao and 30 for the FA
They
Cup.
were
Aye.
away game.
One last question I had. Did they play thingy again? It was
They
thingy,
did
wasn't
it the same as they have done for the
I
last few
thought it
weeks.
was. I thought I
Yeah,
heard it. Aye.
That's
Okay, fair enough.
that's the way it is now.
I missed the
Shit.
chair. The do-do-do-do-do. Get it? I missed it.
They kind of start, they do it a little bit, and then it goes into Hey Jude.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was crap again at the weekend as well.
Well, I'll be with that.
I'm
somewhere.
blaming the music.
Go on, Mark. Get your secret meetings and get them told.
I'm blaming the derby coming up. Everybody's shitting the pants.
Loads of Sunderland songs at the week. I know it always happens before the derby.
Yeah.
What I do want
else
to say,
was
and I know we've gone a bit over though, the amount of people that must have missed Bruno's goal was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It got to the 30th minute, and I think Willock went down in the box injured. I'm sure it was
Yeah,
Willock.
It's
did.
because we got a free kick that
Mhm.
I think was Share took. And it was awful.
Yeah.
So Willock, I'm sure Willock was down.
And then we got the
Then everybody decided to go for a piss at that point or go to the bar. And 30th minute is mine. 30th.
Yeah, it was 30th. Aye.
because he was getting
Went to the
treatments, and
corner.
then we
I-
got a
I
corner.
know
from
quite
the
a few
free
who missed
kick.
the
It wasn't
penalty
a
as well.
bad free kick.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
us saying
Right on
it,
time.
but I know what you mean. I've seen worse though, right?
We haven't even mentioned Fabian Shaw's handball, which should have been a yellow card as well. But
I didn't see that.
yeah, he falls over and hits it purposely.
You must
Oh,
have seen
the one-
it.
was
He
the one-
literally bent down and touched the
It was
ball.
unbelievable.
I've
How-
not seen it. I've not seen it.
Right,
back, but yeah,
I
I
went-
didn't see that.
So he just bent over and touched the ball.
It was unbelievable.
So he basically slips.
Yeah.
And as he slips, he must realise because they're on the attack straight away. There's nobody left to defend. So he just hits it.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Stops it.
I did see
Then
it,
keeps
but
on playing.
I've
Is
seen it back.
everything
So.
there? It's unbelievable.
The worst thing for me is how the referee doesn't give our penalty. Like, he's looking straight at that.
Both.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
it. But
It's
hang on.
horrendous.
He was facing Voltamera, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He had his back to the ref, right? Didn't he?
No, so the ref's looking on the diagonal. The player's got his back, so he's
There's a lot of bodies.
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock view. But his arms are like that.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah,
I
It's
know
like a
that.
miles out,
volleyball.
yeah.
It's like a
What?
volleyball. hit.
That's why I'm not always against VAR. Everyone hates VAR.
Yeah.
We don't get that benefit in for VAR. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, the only
It's
one the penalty award
But he
was
didn't even
the
give
red
he
card.
didn't give theirs either.
It was a red
I mean,
card,
that's
only
it.
Oh, what's he thinking there? Man?
It's really poor decision. That like, yeah, it's really.
It's going in the back of the net, but he doesn't know that. That's my issue with it.
Well, I don't
If
know,
he knows that Ramsdale is not getting that or possibly going to struggle with it, then fair enough.
I mean,
he is,
Ramsdale's
because
that
he's
slow to get
already-
across his
He's
line
already
as well.
dived. He's already lying on the floor.
Ramsdale hasn't even dived for the Romero overhead kick yet.
No, he did. He chucks himself across the goal
was
even
a-
before the ball's been
it was
Have
a
you
joke,
noticed that
Mark.
Have you noticed what he does it a couple of times when a ball's going high, he slides on his knees? Have you noticed that? He does that a few times.
I tell you what I've noticed. What he does before the game starts,
Oh,
he'll
you're
clap.
turning negative.
He'll do the awooga thing with his fist.
Oh, does he?
You'll clap the crowd, then give it a bit of that.
All right, well,
Keep an eye out for
No,
that.
I really like him. No, I like him as a character. I think no problems,
character.
Just crosses.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm telling you now,
that's
mate.
that's the
Telling
thing
you
for
now,
me.
mate.
Commanding
Crosses.
these areas. What
I know people
what
go
we
about
see.
shot stopping. I can believe he can do that. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah,
That's fine, no problem. He's great with his feet like Zidane, didn't care. Crosses. And if he on Sunday, mind you, if he's coming out and punching ball on the head and that and catching everything, I'll say to you on Monday night, well, I'll go to the shop I'll go to the club shop and I'll buy a Ramsdale one top or whatever it is, 26 or whatever.
32.
32, there you go.
Ramage was
I'll
26,
have to buy 3. And I will, honestly. I'll wear back to front Ramsdale.
Sticking on goalkeepers, I was going to bring up something Mark mentioned it earlier on as well. Newcastle have had a couple of the youngsters training with the team as well, goalkeeping positions over the last couple of games as well. They were there in the warm-up before kick-off at St. James's Park on the Spurs game, and the game just gone against Burnley as well. So we've got some decent talent as well in the younger squads at Newcastle that are also playing for England as well.
I wonder if that's with a view to getting rid of, releasing Ruddy in the summer, because he's 39. Ruddy now is
he's only putting training cones.
Well, that's what he's doing. But
these two young lads,
you might have a young keeper doing that.
They're only 16 and 17, though. So
the one that was on the bench on the Spurs game, he's a.
Still Gillespie as well.
I think he's a bit older.
Yeah,
than Roman.
He's from Darlington. And then obviously the one at the weekend is from Shields.
Roman Dowley's from Bolden. Yeah.
Bolden. So you think they get them in order to give them that experience, that sort of
I think
partly
so.
match day
I think
feel?
so, yeah.
Because I love it when they get part of the squad. And stuff.
Roman, I've known Roman since he was tiny, to be fair. Comes from a lush family. He's a really good lad as well. So
I think on the show.
Was buzzing to see him in the squad for week. Was in the
that big one.
As well. He was in that as well. So nice little moment for him and his family.
Oh no. Did they hold up the dummy top in this one?
Yes.
Yes. Great.
Don't get me fucking started about that.
I thought of you when I seen
it. Somebody's asked a comment about should Paul Dummett get a testimonial. No.
Stick him in goal.
Can he come for crosses?
Thanks, everybody. I'm going to end it there. If you'd like to like this video, it means a lot to us. Become a subscriber. Costs you nothing to do that. If you do want to give an extra bit back, it is just $2.99 a month to become a member. Rate it on Spotify, where you've listened as well. It was good to hear and see everybody's comments on our Spotify creators wrapped as well. So that was good as well. But yeah, we'll see you next time. What you doing? Ta-ra.